So what kind of a maniac would put spinach and kale in a protein shake? I'll tell you who, IdealShape, with their very unusual IdealShake product, which is closer to a meal replacement really than a protein shake. It's got a good amount of whey protein in here. What's really interesting about this product is that it has a really wide variety of vitamins and minerals. Plus it's got digestive enzymes, which might help to increase like the breakdown of like proteins and fibers and that sort of stuff. And you've also got this very interesting blend of like blueberries, spinach, kale, all this kind of stuff, which is meant to help to provide a very complete picture of the nutrition that you need. So we're very excited when IdealShape sent these to us. Right now we are going to try out the key lime pie flavor and the chocolate flavor. Then we're going to talk about the ingredients and the nutrition and the price and some pros and cons, so you can make up your own mind as to whether or not you're going to try this out for yourself. So I had to try the key lime pie flavor, which is one that's pretty unusual as far as like protein shake flavors go. And online I read a few negative reviews of this, like it seems to be quite divisive, so I wasn't expecting much. But I gotta say, I was pretty impressed with it, especially because there are no artificial sweeteners in this product, and it came out tasting, you know, like lime, like a lime candy. There is a bit of earthiness in there, I think, from the added spinach and kale and stuff, but it works in such a way that you can sort of act like the earthiness is like the flavor of the crust of the pie. So it's a very smooth lime flavor, and mixed with water, I think it went down pretty well. Now, the dark chocolate flavor, I was not quite as big a fan of. It is a dark chocolate flavor, so it's like quite earthy, like a tiny bit bitter as the cocoa bean itself is. This is also naturally flavored. I think the earthiness though, it's a little bit too heavy, especially when combined with, as I mentioned, the powdered up vegetables, like this sort of like kale-y, chlorella-y sort of flavor. It comes through a bit too much with this flavor. I think personally, I mix it here with some, with about 8 ounces of water. I think with milk, it would be pretty good. With water, yeah, it doesn't mask the earthiness enough. All right, so let's take a look at this nutrition label. Now it does vary a little bit between the two flavors, but largely it's the same. You're gonna be getting 100 calories per scoop, about 12 grams of protein, 9 grams of carbohydrates with 4 grams of fiber and 2 grams of sugar, and about 3 grams of fat. So that's quite a lot of fiber actually. I mean, it's about like 15% of the recommended daily intake. Not too shabby. It makes it relatively low in carbohydrates as well, like net carbohydrates. So you're actually getting close to 5 grams of carbohydrates for 12 grams of protein here. The real thing to talk about here is the vitamins and minerals. You're gonna get about 21 of them per scoop. And for most of them, you're getting like roughly like 70 to 100% of the recommended daily intake. You know, you've got everything from calcium, vitamin D, thiamine, niacin, folate, B12, zinc, all these ones. Now again, the nutrition is a little bit different between the two of them. Like the key lime pie has no vitamin D and no vitamin A, whereas the chocolate one does have like 80% of your intake. But by and large, it's a very complete nutrition profile. It's like a little bit low in like say potassium and a couple of other nutrients, but nonetheless, very impressive nutrient split here. So as for the actual ingredients themselves, it is a bit of a bummer that it is all in a proprietary blend. So that means they don't tell you the exact weight of every ingredient. So it makes it a little bit hard to know, you know, how much of every ingredient you're getting. Nonetheless, I will read out the most important stuff. Most of the ingredients here are just the vitamins and minerals themselves that have been added into it. But it is worth pointing out, it has a blend of whey protein concentrate and whey isolate. That's the first ingredient, so there's more of that than there is any other ingredient. There's also a very interesting blend of digestive enzymes. Here you've got like bromelain, papain, lactase, and digiseb, and so these together, they may in fact confer some sort of digestive benefits, like might help you to break down certain nutrients, might help to lower the risk of getting indigestion. These are all maybes, but a lot of people do find them useful in these sorts of supplements, especially ones that contain lactose, like this one does. There's also some soy lecithin to help with mixability. Some people want to avoid soy, some people don't really care, but it's worth pointing out. And the other main thing I wanted to point out here is, of course, the IdealShape Superfood blend. So what you're getting there is blueberry powder, apple pectin, some flax, spinach, parsley, cracked cell chlorella, and kale. So these are ingredients that are pretty common in like green superfood powder drinks. They've added them in here to sort of make it a sort of like a 1-2 punch of like protein and nutrients, and also the antioxidants, because antioxidants is really the reason people include a lot of these ingredients in their products. So the good news is that these ingredients, like especially the cracked cell chlorella and the kale and the spinach and the blueberries, these are known for being pretty high in antioxidants, which may in some respects help to slow the aging process. They might help to combat against certain illnesses, help with inflammation, all that sort of stuff. So that's the upside. The downside, again, we don't know the exact amount you're gonna get in this product, but you know, it's the second blend on the ingredients list after the protein, so there's probably a decent few grams here. Now, as far as the price goes, one scoop here is going to cost you between $34 and $39 for 30 servings. That's roughly $1.20 per scoop. which is like pretty reasonably priced, all things considered. I mean, the average like meal replacements out there, the high quality ones, you know, they're usually $1.50, $2, $3 per serving. This year, yeah, it's $1.50. It is very, very low in calories. That is worth pointing out because many meal replacements out there, they're gonna have a good 500, 600, 700 calories. So on a per calorie basis, it might be a little bit pricey, but on a per serving basis, pretty happy with IdealShake. So there are quite a few things I liked about IdealShape's IdealShake Superfood blend. Number one, 100 calories per scoop. It is super low in calories, and it's got a good hit of protein and fiber here, so it should be pretty filling. So if you're on a really restricted calorie diet, or if you get really hungry between meals and need something nutritious to fill up on, this is gonna do the job, I think. Very low in calories and very nutritious, as I mentioned. Really wide variety of vitamins and minerals, including stuff like, you know, zinc, magnesium, a few things that some people tend to run low on, so I was very satisfied with that. Plus, it's got the superfood blend. So you're getting some extra antioxidants in there as well. So it's like protein and fiber, bunch of vitamins and minerals, and some also antioxidants from the ground up fruits and vegetables, which might be helpful. And there's some digestive enzymes, which means it might potentially help to improve your nutrient absorption. So overall, it's a pretty well-rounded product, plus it's all natural and there are no artificial sweeteners. So there's not a lot to get upset about on the ingredients list. There are a few things you might take some issue with this product. Look, it does have soy. It's just soy lecithin. That's not the same thing as soy protein. And there's very little evidence that soy is like bad for your estrogen or testosterone or whatever anyway. But you know, plenty of people do try to avoid soy. So I gotta mention that's here. It is also made on equipment that processes, you know, dairy, soy, wheat, eggs, fish, shellfish, tree nuts, peanuts. So if you have very, very sensitive allergies, you might be a bit bugged by that. One thing that definitely bugged me is that it is a proprietary blend. So I don't know the exact amount of every ingredient. That would have been useful so I could tell you, you know, how much, say, cracked cell chlorella you're getting in a dose, if that's enough to hit the same dose you see in some studies that connect chlorella with weight loss, that kind of thing. That's not very uncommon in the industry, but still I would have liked it to not be a proprietary blend. It's also not very, very balanced in the macronutrients. Like it's 12 grams of protein, about 9 grams of carbohydrates, and just 3 grams of fat. That's very low in fat, and it's also very, very low in calories, which is fine for a lot of people, but as a meal replacement, it doesn't exactly mimic the sort of macros or the amount of calories you would get in a meal. So I would consider this more like a nutritious snack than something that would actually replace a meal. Like it's just too low in calories for that. All right, those are my thoughts on IdealShape's IdealShake Superfood blend. A pretty interesting addition to the meal replacement market. If you want to see the full written review, it's in the description below. If you want to see if this landed on my full list of the best meal replacements, just make sure you Google the full roundup with BarBend Best Meal Replacement.